The first person who inhaled helium must have been so relieved when the effects wore off. As a kid you are bullied by people who don't like you and your friends are nice. Once you're older, you're bullied by your friends and people who don't like you are nice. If you die on your back and it's freezing out you could see your last breath. They put music from the 50s and 60s in medicine commercials to appeal to the older generation, meaning sometime in the future Despacito will be playing on a commercial for laxatives. When rappers get face tattoos all they're saying is that they're successful enough to never have to try to get a normal job. If the thumb is not a finger then there is no middle finger. Somewhere in Gotham City is a group of stoners wondering if Batman could also be Bruce Wayne. No matter how much you slept, waking up 5 minutes before your alarm makes you feel cheated out of a whole night's rest. Wearing running clothes is only important so people know it's your hobby. If you go running in normal clothes everyone wonders what you're running from. Sparkling water tastes like when your foot falls asleep and you begin to move it around. Beanbags are just boneless sofas. In one generation we went from, watch your mouth around grandma she's from a different time, to, don't mind all the stuff grandma says she's from a different time. Given that tickling yourself does not work the same as someone else tickling you, we really lucked out with masturbation. If you're no longer covered by your parents' health insurance your manufacturer's warranty is over. If reincarnation is real then maybe flies and other bugs are purposefully annoying because they want to get killed and get reincarnated as something better. People who make advertisements for girls' toys don't seem to have any idea how girls play with them. Barbies don't have nice civilized tea parties and talk about boys. It's more like Game of Thrones except everyone is a lesbian. It's a special kind of gratification when the slow car you're stuck behind turns away and you speed up to show the people behind you that you weren't the one clogging up traffic. Being attracted to people who wear glasses is the one fetish for physically impaired that's socially acceptable. There's a scene in Forrest Gump showing that he made a ton of money from Apple stock purchased in the 70s. When we saw that scene in 1994 we all thought, too bad we missed the boat on that one. Virtually all of the tough guys you see in TV and movies were theater majors in college. Accidentally opening Apple Maps is the GPS equivalent of accidentally opening Internet Explorer. A successful marriage ends with watching the other person die. Maybe dogs bring home sticks because that was bred into the mauve millennia of humans needing wood for fire. 300 years ago, if you had something that was made in China everyone would be really impressed. Dragons would think it's cool that we create water in our mouths. The human race is so good at evolving it literally turned depression into a joke to cope with depression. Every event in your life has led you to see this post. New parents can tell their children that they were ordered from Amazon and delivered via drone. For human fall is a beautiful colorful season. For plants fall is probably a terrifying season of mass death. In pay to win games the top scoreboard is filled with losers instead of winners. People will hit snooze to get that desperate final 3 minutes of sleep but stay up hours too late the night before for no reason. NASA are actually aliens stuck on Earth figuring out how to get home using primitive technology. Using jump scares in horror movies to scare people is like tickling people watching comedies to make them laugh. Telling a suicidal person to hang in there is probably bad advice. It's 2018 and you can't unpress an elevator button. Being fat is the only problem you can run from. There's an incredibly small chance that a cheeseburger could have cheese made from the beef's mother's milk. Mount Everest grows by ½ an inch per year, so every time someone summits they break the record for highest mountain ever climbed. Sleep is strange. You wear designated clothes to a designated place where you unconsciously lay while vividly hallucinating for hours. Always run from the scene of a crime carrying a fire extinguisher. Nobody stops a man running with a fire extinguisher. In the future there will be historians that specialize in memes. Many people have no problem believing they didn't exist before their birth but can't fathom not existing after their death. At some point in history a man heard a parrot speak a human language and had to convince everyone that a bird spoke to him. In the cars universe a dealership is like a slave trade. One pillow is too low but two pillows is too high. Someone was able to invent the internet without needing to look anything up on the internet. As someone with a bad memory, I wish I could Google things that happened in my life. Ducks can swim, fly and walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animal. English is a language where meat and grape don't rhyme but pony and baloney do. Why does food taste totally different cold? Is heat a flavor? Maybe we enjoy the sound of rain hitting car roofs or windows because we have been conditioned to feel safe when we are safe from the element. About every 15 minutes there is a wave of people being woken up by alarms. 5 minutes later another wave of slightly less motivated individuals wakes up for the second time. People don't have a strong intuitive sense of how much bigger 1 billion is than 1 million. 1 million seconds is about 11 days. 1 billion seconds is about 31.5 years. People who are 5'8" are also technically 420. One day in the future going to the moon will become that boring science class field trip that everybody has to take in high school. For some reason your brain is disturbed by nightmares even though it literally decided to create them. How old were you when you realized that the game tag stands for touch and go? I was today years old. You've never seen your face in person, only in pictures and reflections. If you draw -2 plus equals on your pillow with your finger it will sound like Chim Chimney from Mary Poppins. We have no idea how far numbers go but we do know that 0 is in the middle. Swimming is using every muscle in your body to not drown and die, yet it's considered a fun recreational activity by most. In school the older kids always seem tall but when you get there you don't feel taller. We currently know more history than anyone in history ever knew. There will be thousands of random thoughts people have had about you you'll never know about. Rap battles are just two men reciting poems they wrote about each other. You'll never wash the old water out of the cup with new water then put newer water in the cup. 11 AM to 12 AM is 13 hours. You can't explain how magic works because if you know how it works it's science. We went from hunting mammoths to not being able to stand near a cockroach. One day the internet will be older than every living human. Your eyes never stop seeing, you just cover them with a flap of skin sometimes. The voice in my head curses a lot more than I do. The only person who still thinks about that cringy thing you did 10 years ago is you. The internet connects people at a long distance but disconnects people at a short distance. Everybody wants to park their car in the shade but nobody wants to plant a tree. Your tongue is sitting in a dark damp cave surrounded by objects that can crush it. It sucks how the rest of your life and career depends on your most immature years. It's weird how red and lead rhyme and so do read and lead but red and lead don't rhyme and neither do read and lead. The number of people older than you is constantly shrinking with nothing increasing it. No one knows the loneliest person.
Cowbelly, let's go baby.
Demonetization is dropping your eating to stop a migration of top innovation and content creation in an opposite way. I saw your new status and got inspiration to drop a new cape. On top of your face is a mock and the face of the clock is still raised. The mob is impatient, a monster is late, cannot just escape. You'll drop like a cave. YouTube Ukraine thought you would make it. Asked all the creators who want to get paid for their awesome creation. So take the advice of a god and make it. All I got to say is Cowbelly TV gets more traffic than a metropolis. Yes bitch that's me. And I'm still looking for where my profit is.